observing the mind without attachment, Buddhist wisdom for peace. In every human life, there are moments of deep stillness. Not a stillness caused by the absence of sound, but a stillness that arises when the mind suddenly pauses amid countless disturbances. It may happen when we sit alone at night, recalling an offhand remark from someone that once wounded us. It may occur when an old memory unexpectedly resurfaces, carrying pain we thought had long been laid to rest. Or it may arise when we lie awake, restless over a worry that has not yet happened, yet appears in the mind as vividly as if it were already real. If we look closely, we will notice something quite strange. Most of the suffering in our lives does not come directly from what happens, but from how the mind reacts to what happens. A small event may pass very quickly, yet the mind's reaction can linger for hours, days, even years. It is precisely this reaction that creates a second layer of suffering, added on top of the original pain. More than 2,600 years ago, the Buddha observed this truth with extraordinary clarity and depth. He did not deny the pain inherent in human life, but he pointed out that there is a path by which human beings no longer need to be swept away by their own reactions. That path begins with something very simple: observing without reacting. 1. Suffering does not lie in the event, but in the reaction. In daily life, we often believe that we suffer because of circumstances, because of other people, because of fate. We say, if they hadn't said that, I wouldn't be hurt. If that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be suffering. But when we look more deeply, we see that between the event and the suffering, there is always a middle factor, the reacting mind. Someone may say something quite ordinary, not even intended as an insult. Yet because of their tone of voice, their facial expression, or an old wound within us, those words immediately trigger a chain reaction. The heart beats faster, the body tenses, and the mind begins to construct stories. We interpret, we defend ourselves, we replay the conversation again and again in our heads. By evening, long after the event has passed, we are still carrying it within us like a heavy burden. What actually happened? Just a few sounds vibrating through the air. Yet the mind has turned them into a battlefield. 2. The ancient brain and the survival reflex. To understand this more deeply, we need to look back at human evolutionary history. Tens of thousands of years ago, our ancestors lived in a world filled with danger. A slight rustling in the bushes could signal the presence of a predator. In such situations, reacting quickly meant the difference between life and death. Our brains were therefore programmed to respond instantly. The center that governs this response is the amygdala, one of the most ancient parts of the brain. When it detects danger, the body immediately enters fight or flight mode. The heart races, muscles tighten, breathing becomes rapid. Those who hesitated often did not survive. Those who reacted quickly passed on their genes. And we modern human beings are the descendants of that survival system. The problem is this: the world has changed, but the alarm system has not. The tigers and lions are gone, yet an unpleasant email, a critical remark, or a painful memory is enough to trigger the same survival reflex, as if we were facing a real physical threat. Psychologist Daniel Goleman calls this phenomenon amygdala hijack, when the emotional brain seizes control from the rational brain. In that moment, there is no choice. There is only reaction. 3. The two arrows of suffering. In a well-known discourse, the Salatha Sutta, the Buddha used a simple yet profoundly powerful image to describe the nature of suffering. He said that when an untrained person is touched by painful feeling, they grieve, lament, cry out, and become distraught. They experience two kinds of feeling, one in the body, and one in the mind. It is as if a person were struck by one arrow, and then immediately struck by a second arrow. The first arrow is the unavoidable pain of life, illness, loss, separation, hurtful words, aging, death. No one escapes this arrow. Even the Buddha himself experienced physical pain, criticism, and misunderstanding. The second arrow is the mind's reaction: resistance, anger, blame, self-pity, worry, mental proliferation, endless replaying. This arrow does not come from the world. It comes from how we react to the world. And here is the truth that changes everything. Most of our suffering comes from the second arrow, the arrow we repeatedly shoot into ourselves. 4. Reaction creates karma and builds a prison of habit. In Buddhist teaching, every intentional reaction leaves a trace. The Buddha called this kamma. In the Nibdika Sutta, he stated clearly, "It is intention that I call kamma." Having intended, one acts through body, speech, and mind. This means that each time we react with anger, we strengthen the habit of anger. Each time we react with fear, fear becomes more familiar. The grooves in the mind grow deeper, and reactions become increasingly automatic. This is not a punishment imposed by the universe. It is simply how the mind functions. Repetition creates tendency. And without realizing it, we slowly build a prison for ourselves, not of stone, but of habitual reactions. Yet what matters most is this: these patterns are not who we truly are. They are merely habits formed through repetition. And whatever has been formed can be transformed. 5. Mindfulness, an innate capacity we have forgotten. So how do we break this cycle of reaction? The Buddha did not offer a miracle cure. He simply reminded us of a capacity that has always existed within us, the capacity to be aware. In Buddhism, this capacity is called sati, usually translated as mindfulness. The word does not only mean paying attention. It also means remembering to be present, remembering what is wholesome, what leads away from suffering. Mindfulness is not thinking more about experience. It is knowing experience clearly, as it is happening, without being swept away by it. 6. The 4 foundations of mindfulness, the direct path to liberation. In a foundational discourse, the Satipatthana Sutta, the Buddha declared that this is the direct path for purification, for overcoming sorrow and lamentation, for the disappearance of pain and grief, and for the realization of Nibbana. The 4 foundations are: mindfulness of the body, observing the body, the breath, posture, movement, physical sensations. We rarely live in the body. Most of the time, we live in thought. Mindfulness of feeling, observing feeling tones, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, that accompany every experience. This is a crucial link. Mindfulness of mind, knowing the state of mind. Is there greed, aversion, delusion, or clarity? Mindfulness of mental phenomena, observing mental processes, hindrances, and factors that lead to awakening. Running through all 4 is a key instruction. One abides independent, not clinging to anything in the world. 7. Dependent origination, where we can intervene. The Buddha did not merely say, "Be mindful." He also offered a detailed map of how suffering arises, known as dependent origination. In practical life, the most important sequence is contact, feeling, craving, suffering. Contact, sense organs meet objects. Feeling, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral feeling arises. Craving, desire, or resistance. Suffering, the inevitable result. The key insight is this: between feeling and craving, there can be a pause. This pause does not arise automatically. It is created through mindfulness and wisdom. 8. Practicing in daily life, pausing between feeling and reaction. Imagine being criticized in front of others. Immediately, an unpleasant sensation arises in the body: heat, tightness, heaviness. This is the first arrow. In an untrained mind, reaction follows instantly: this shouldn't be happening. They don't respect me. And the cascade of suffering begins. With mindfulness, however, you can recognize an unpleasant feeling is present. Simply seeing this clearly creates space. There is room. There is choice. 9. Mindfulness of breathing, the foundation of freedom. To train this capacity, the Buddha taught a simple yet profound method: mindfulness of breathing. Breathing in long, one knows, I breathe in long. Breathing out long, one knows, I breathe out long. Each time you return to the breath, you are training the ability not to be carried away. A thought arises, you know it. An emotion arises, you know it. And you return. This is the practice of pausing. 10. Equanimity is not coldness. Many people fear that such practice will make them emotionally numb. This is a misunderstanding. In Buddhism, this balanced state is called upekkha. Equanimity is not indifference. Indifference is considered the near enemy of equanimity. Equanimity is warmth guided by wisdom. It is the ability to meet life with openness, without being trapped by preference and aversion. Equanimity stands alongside the four boundless states: loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, equanimity. Without equanimity, compassion easily burns out. With equanimity, love becomes sustainable. 11. 3 steps of practice in every moment. The Buddhist teaching can be distilled into 3 simple steps. Notice something is happening. Name unpleasant, anger, fear. Return to the body, the breath, the present moment. No analysis. No suppression. No escape. 12. The path of patience and freedom. There will be days when you forget everything. Moments when you react before you even realize it. That is alright. Each time you notice that you have been carried away, that very noticing is already mindfulness. This path requires patience, yet it leads to a profound freedom. Freedom from automatic reaction. Freedom to live fully. Freedom to love without being burned by emotion. Before entering final Nibbana, the Buddha told his disciples, "You must strive for yourselves. The Tathagatas only show the way. The path already exists. Each breath is an opportunity to begin again."
Thank you for watching until the end of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to watch more interesting videos.